Hey, what's going on, guys? Yo, so watch this video before Monday because the Bitcoin stable coin bill is being voted on in Congress. Looks like it's going to be passed, which is huge for the banks because the banks want to ease in at low risk, right? They want to put all their money into stable coins, which is backed by the dollar. And then once they've got, their foot in the door, then they can start to deploy that money into like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptos. So this is a big bill that's going to be passed because there's trillions of dollars in the banking institutions that's waiting just to get into the crypto market. Now, listen to Mike Novogratz talk about how many people have crypto wallets and are looking just to start adding. And then at the end, Matt Hogan talks about 95% of the Bitcoin supply is already being held in cold wallets with through retail, big investors, big stock companies. So 95% of the Bitcoin's already being held, and the institutional money that's coming in is like 95% of the money out in the world that is just waiting to be deployed. So there's only 1.1 million Bitcoin left. I mean, that's a tiny amount of number of Bitcoin left for, all the world to grab up. So pray, make a wise decision. And in my bio, I'll leave a link to mycrypto.com where you can get an easy trading platform where you can buy Bitcoin, buy Ethereum, buy Solana, and start investing and start adding in so that you don't get left behind. Because once the stablecoin bill gets passed, I think in June, crypto is going to start really making its next leg up in this bull cycle, which could be, it could jump 40,000, and it did that previous in 2024 before the Trump election, and it went from 60,000 all the way up to 106. So once we reach that another all-time high, which we're only like 3.5% away from, it could just jump in the next couple of weeks. So don't miss the boat. Protect yourself, protect your wealth, your assets, your family. But first, pray to God. Make sure you're making the right decision. This is just for entertainment purposes. I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own diligence and work. Peace out.
I used to say there are more crypto owners than dog owners. And so why are you the party against dogs? And I think the smart Democrats get it. And so we're going to get this bill done, which I think happens Monday.
Let's start with the stablecoin bill, which is expected to go into vote on Monday. And Loomis believes senators have reached a deal on the stablecoin bill. So this is the largest piece of crypto legislation we've seen to date. And this should get passed because stablecoins are sort of one of the easier aspects of crypto to understand.
What will crypto do in terms of the market? Will it go quiet or go loud? At this point, we're looking at Bitcoin sitting at about 104,000.
And I remember, by the way, when we started to come back off the April lows, and maybe gold had the first move. And you said, when gold goes, what was the exact data point? It was like crypto follows, and, sure enough, here we are.
Yeah, listen, we had a euphoric top right around the inauguration, and, a combination of a lot of things, Trump coin and whatnot. People say, okay, and crypto went back and tested where the election breakout was. Now it looks like we'll take out 106, 107, 108 and make the next leg to 130, 150. And at that point, you're in price discovery, right? I keep thinking gold's a $22 trillion asset and crypto's a $2 trillion asset. And at one point, as more and more young people inherit the money for their old people that, kiss the face of God, you're going to see crypto equal gold. And that's a long way from
$30+ trillion that is just getting exposure now. I think it's straight up for, next 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I was on a panel yesterday with Dan Moorhead from Pantera, and he said we haven't even seen basically like half of Bitcoin's upside yet. He said there's a lot of room to grow, so you would agree with that?
Hugely, right? 95% of all Bitcoin is already owned, and 95% of investable money doesn't own any Bitcoin. And I think the collision of those two facts leads to much higher prices. I think we're in a multi-year bull market as this institutional wave of capital comes in.
And the reason is very simple. This asset is so scarce and demand just continues to be turned on this year.
I want to screw this call up. I mean, your progeny are going to hate you if you knew about this and you didn't buy it. I mean, they're just going to absolutely hate you, and they're going to think you're a legend if you sacrificed and didn't buy that expensive car and bought a whole coin instead, because that whole coin is going to be worth $10 million. Not that far out, by the way. I don't think anybody's missed the boat. I mean, I think we're still very much in the early days, and it's going to 10x, and that's going to 10x again. So from an investing point of view, you don't want to miss something that's going to go up 100x and maybe 1,000x if you talk 15, 20 years out. And 0.1 is going to be a meaningful amount to have. I mean, it's being a whole coiner is going to be an enormous deal in a few years. And so I don't think you missed the boat. It can come out of the blue. I mean, we all know how this thing happens. I mean, the thing that's so wild about this asset is the way that it can really move and move fast.